It has been a while since I have reviewed any KZ Acoustics IEM, so I was looking forward to doing this review. Thank you to the folk at KZ Acoustics for making this review possible by sending me this demo unit. All thoughts and opinions are my own. So let's jump straight into how these are built. The unboxing is fairly simple and you get everything you need in the box. You get the IEMs, small, medium and large ear tips and the cable. The cable is the familiar one you get from KZ. It's an oxygen-free copper cable that is tangle-proof to a certain extent. This variant doesn't have a microphone, but you do have the option of ordering one when you buy this. One end of the cable is terminated to a 3.5 mm auxiliary jack, and the side that connects to the IEMs are the 0.78 mm 2-pin connectors which slot in fairly easily. Moving on to the IEMs. These have a chrome black finish to them which does look quite smart, but I found these to be fingerprint magnets, so I end up constantly wiping these down after each use because I'm weird like that. The faceplate does have the Saga name on it with a section below it having a mesh-like finish, but these aren't an open back design set of IEMs. The entire housing is a zinc alloy, so it's cool to the touch whenever you first interact with it, and the overall finish is quite good. I don't see any glue marks around this housing that I've seen on some IEMs with a resin enclosure. This does have a much neater finish than those for certain. There's a little opening under the nozzle which I presume is some sort of venting port to help these breathe, and this usually helps with staging and bass response to a certain extent. Comfort wise, I've been able to wear these IEMs for prolonged listening. The ear tips are the standard KZ ones that they usually send with their other affordable IEMs, so if you prefer other ones, you can always swap these out. These come with 10 mm dynamic drivers, have a frequency response of 20 Hz all the way up to 40,000 Hz, and have a very easy to drive low resistance of just 23 ohms. On a volume front, I found myself listening to this mostly at around 20-25% volume because it is loud enough for me over there, but the minute I push on over to about 30% or more, it gets a little too loud for me. So if you do intend on preserving your hearing, I wouldn't recommend listening to this beyond 30% over prolonged periods of time. Of course, if you do want to preserve your ears and how you can listen to, much nicer music over prolonged periods of time. But the good news is, when it comes to lower volumes, this can go down to even 10% volume without losing much depth, thanks to the fact that this version that I am testing is the base edition, of course. So it does maintain a good level of roundedness even as low as 10%. Soundstage on these is like most other IEMs in this price segment. It does have good left and right separation with a well-centered phantom channel. Now, it can give you the sense of some tones coming from a little further out of these IEMs, but this does occur very rarely. And this also does matter on the kind of music you play through it. If you're not playing high-res music that doesn't have those nuances, chances are it won't be able to do that for you. And speaking about nuances, when it comes to its imaging, it's fairly well detailed. You can focus in on certain nuances. There are certain elements that you can focus in on pretty well. Again, like most other IEMs in this price segment, this price segment is really flooded with a lot of very good performing detailed IEMs, and this is definitely one of those IEMs for sure. But having said that, I do get a sense of this not being as crisp in detail as it could. I think in part because it is the base edition, and as we all know, if anything has a little too much bass, it can eat into details in the mids and the high frequencies. So I do think that the balanced variant of this will be a little bit crisper than this version. High frequencies do have a few peaks in its tuning, but it does not cross into being aggressive. This range is easier on the ear than I was expecting, which I am thankful for. A lot of budget IEMs now have a very tweaked high frequency range to give you the illusion of better clarity. This is tuned to carry on a tight response in this range, so any percussive instruments, reverb and echo are carried over to you with purpose, but they're on the calmer side of presentation, which is very comfortable on the ear, even over longer listening sessions. Listening to Dodo performed by Dave Matthews Band, this percussively rich track can be a little overwhelming with some IEMs in this price range, but this is a nice welcome since it's softer in this range while still maintaining a good amount of detail. It's got the right amount of richness without coming anywhere close to cutting your ears off. Mid frequencies do have an elevation in the upper mids with a recess in the lower mids. Now, I usually don't like this kind of tuning on any IEMs or earphones, but KZ has just about got this right. These do get very close to getting sibilant, but I'm sure this will cross their threshold with older recordings, or if they're also compressed. But with high-res audio, I haven't yet experienced any sibilance. There is good enough separation between instruments and vocals here. It would be unfair to compare these to higher-end IEMs, but I'm noticing how this range doesn't separate as well as higher-end IEMs do, since I've been testing a few of them lately. But having said that, these do a good job here, and surprisingly, male vocals managed to stay rounded despite that lower mid recess. Listening to I See the Light, performed by Mandy Moore and Zachary Levi. This pretty piece with strings and wind instruments does have a nice amount of separation between them and the vocals, but it's very evident that Mandy Moore's vocals pierce through a little more than Zachary's. But thanks to the tuning these take on, their voices certainly don't come across as being nasal, which is always nice when you have a rounded performance. Low frequencies are big and energetic, and I can see why KZ calls this variant the bass version. This range has got way too much bass for my taste. I do wish they had sent me the balanced version, because this certainly has a hefty boost in the lower range. So much so that when I listen to EDM with these for too long, I can tend to get a headache since I'm not used to listening to so much bass, since I'm not a fan of it. Yes, people like me do exist. But having said that, I can see a bass enthusiast properly enjoying these. I think these might have the most energetic bass I've heard from IEMs in this price range. The sub-low range does have more of a kick than the upper low range, and rumbles from EDM tracks properly rumble with a good size to it. Listening to an old favorite of mine, Café de Flore by Dr. Rocket. Apart from the beat, there is a lower range bass line that carries on through this track as the main theme, and as much as I love this track, the bass gets way too much for me here. It's fun, no doubt, but I would have preferred a slightly more controlled and tighter response that I suspect is how the balanced variant sounds. So to sum up on a build front, I really do like how this has been put together. Now, a lot of the IEMs I've tested in this price range usually do have that resin housing with a metal faceplate or just resin all the way around, and those usually have, you know, some exposed glue. I haven't seen any on this, so it's definitely very nicely made. It does look a lot more premium, you know, than something with a resin enclosure, of course. It's nice that it's cool to the touch as well, but the thing is, because of the finish, it's a fingerprint magnet, and you know, I've gotten into the habit of wiping it down before, you know, should I say after I'm done with it. So I've noticed, you know, when I look up close to it, it does have, you know, sort of micro scratches on the surface. So I do suspect that when I shoot the B-roll close-ups, you will see some of those scratches on it, but I mean, it's part and parcel of this finish. It is glossy, it is a smooth finish. It's definitely going to show scratches over time. So that's something to keep in mind before you do buy these, of course. The cable provided is the standard KZ cable that they do provide with a lot of the affordable IEMs, of course, and it's kind of tangle-free. I have handled some IEMs recently in a much higher price bracket that are not tangle-free, and those were very frustrating. But I like how KZ has done this, because it's not too much of a fuss every time you take it out of a case, or you know, if you take it out of your pocket. So kudos to KZ for finding something that works well. On a sound front, this of course is the bass edition, the bass variant. I do wish that they sent me the balanced front, because I do like more balanced sound than bass heavy stuff. But I think this is a perfect set of IEMs for a lot of people who are moving into the audiophile hobby, who want to sort of, you know, get to know it a little bit better. So if you are moving from a set of TWS earphones and you move to something like this, the transition will be a lot easier, because it will have that fullness in the bass, it will have that largeness, which is, it's fun to a certain extent, but I mean, I definitely know what my taste is with music, and it's definitely not bass enthusiastic. I find these to be pretty good with acoustic music, because it does give a little elevation, say in the double bass or just the lower frequency notes for pianos, guitars, cellos, horns, all that sort of stuff. But the minute you throw something heavy at it, the minute it's electronic, and you know, it's very enthusiastic there, this, you know, wants to get up and play. So that's how it's been tuned. That's pretty much what a lot of people will want for this if they're looking for a bass enhancement, and this does it pretty well. I think it might be the most bass prominent IEMs that I've heard so far within this price range especially. So I mean, if you're just shifting over to the hobby and you've got a set of TWS earphones, this is a great introduction to the audiophile hobby, because it does manage to do nuances pretty well. In fact, I was listening to one track before doing this video, and it's amazing how it handles some of the higher frequencies, like the echoes and reverb bounce off from, be it walls or wherever this a track is recorded. It's able to capture the environment. So there are a lot of IEMs that aren't able to, you know, pick up those resonances from a structure, or should I say the echo and reverb from certain things. Now these sit in a much higher frequency band, and I suppose thanks to its frequency response, it's able to do that a lot better. So it's definitely a nice listening experience, and all in all, great beginner set of IEMs, of course. So anyway, if you do want to pick these up, I'd say they're great value for money. And of course, coming to the price, well, these do have an MRP of about 2,699 rupees here in India, but these do have a selling price of about 1,390 rupees to 1,649 rupees, because there are different variants you can pick up. One is with a mic, one is with without a mic option, and the other is a bass or the balanced tuning option. So you can choose between these few different options, and your sort of costing will change. If you are buying this abroad, you can get this for between $22.99 or up to $25.99. That's $25.99 being the absolute maximum. So overall, I'd say these are pretty good beginner IEMs. I mean, the market is absolutely flooded with these, and each one has its own flavor. I haven't yet heard a set that is bad. You know, they're all genuinely good. This price range is really flooded, so it's difficult to pick out what you really want. But honestly, I can say from the few I've heard and the few I've tested, if you are a bass enthusiast and you're okay with a little bit of compromised detailing or imaging, this is a terrific set to go for. It is fun, no doubt, if you're a bass enthusiast and you want that oomph in your lower frequencies. So there you have it. That's my review on the KZ Saga, and I do hope that this video has given you a better understanding for these IEMs, and I do hope that I've helped you make some sort of purchase decision. If you would like to help support the channel, I'm sure you know exactly how to. But of course, thank you for tuning into Paul's POV for some sound advice.